Hey guys, Lisa here with the Earthy Girl Experience. Wanted to take a moment to just come on here and y'all excuse my attire, baby, because it's late. I should be in bed, but there's been so much going on in these last couple of weeks since we've entered the month of October. Yep. All right, y'all, she is gone. Like I said, sometimes you gotta release things and let it go. And I got $25 out of it. And I was gonna just give it away for free. So, Virgo rises, y'all better do what y'all gotta do. Release the job, the man, the situation, the trash, the clutter. Let it go, boo-boo. Let it go. And those of you in the astrology world, if you know, you just know, right? You know that there was just so much happening this month. And of course, with this channel, I've always aimed to give you guys astrology in real motherfucking time. Astrology is everywhere. Those of us in the astrology world know that when it deals with the planets, it's gonna happen regardless. Something is going to take place contingent on what the planets are saying. Those of you who study astrology, those of you who are astrologers, those of you who are just who are enthusiasts. When you understand the planetary alignment, you just understand. But I say all that to say that as a Virgo rising, it's been a lot of transitionings taking place in my life. With Saturn being in Pisces, there's been a lot of transitions taking place even within my personal life. And so because of that, I've had to take a pause and a break on the other things that I was pouring my energy into in order to make this transition go as smoothly as possible. And of course, I plan to share later kind of the details possibly of that experience. But I know right now I have to tread kind of lightly with what I speak on and what I put out on a public platform. And so, but at the same time, I want to be able to document astrology in real time so that people can be able to see how the planetary alignments really do affect your life sometimes. And whether you want to have control or think you have control over it or not. And so at the end of the day, the planets are in control. And I don't say that as a means of saying that God is not in control, because God is a consciousness, and the consciousness controls everything. The planets, the stars, all of that included. So I want to be clear when I say those things, because I feel like somebody would take that and assume that I do not believe that there is a God or a God consciousness, because I do. There is a God, and it is a consciousness, and we're all just fragments from that consciousness, that one consciousness. And so anywho, in an effort to document real motherfucking astrology in real motherfucking time, I decided that I would take a moment out of my hectic life right now, because as a Virgo rising, I am truly going through a transition. I want to say it's my first house is really being affected because I'm going through a status change. and I'll just leave it at that. So because of that status change, I am feeling like my life is in complete chaos to some degree. But I also know and understand that this is a necessary transition that must take place. And so as I continue to go through this transition, I'm going to document the process, because I feel like there's going to be levels to this process that is going to be beneficial later on. It's going to be worth revisiting again in a different conversation between us. Okay, so it's been really hard for me to film content for YouTube because I've just been so consumed with this transition. So if you watched my Personal Year 7 series, in the very first video of that series, and I guess you can say this is a continuation of the Personal Year 7 series, what I thought was essentially just going to be a 2-episode to the series definitely has continued to show me that it's not done. And so if you went back and watched my part 1 of I think I titled it the Personal Year Itch, but it's like in relation to numerology and the energy of the number 7 in numerology. If you go back and watch that video, there's a piece in the video where I talk about that there was a transition that took place within my family, my immediate family. And I kind of left it at that because at the time when I filmed that footage for that particular episode for that series, I was still kind of feeling the effects of that transition within my immediate family, and it was still kind of just a really weird type of energy. So I knew that though I'm in my personal year 8 this year, knew that because the collective consciousness, the collective people, right, we're all in a year 2023, and I knew that those numbers alone meant that collectively we were all in a year 7, so I would still feel the energy of the year 7 regardless of being in my personal year 8. Like, the fuck you mean? Who you kidding, right? And so if you go back, I do mention about that transition that took place. It was somewhere in that first video. I talked about it being within my immediate family here, and so that transition is still taking place. However, during the year 7, the first phase of that transition took place. And so now that we are in 2000, and this was last year when I was actually in my personal year 7 in 2022. That was the first phase of that transition. And now here we are, almost around the same time that initial transition took place, that the second phase of that transition is happening right now. And so because of that, I'm in the midst of moving, and I'm relocating to a whole nother different state. All right, y'all, as you can see, lots of transitions are happening right now. I am in the process of relocating. And yeah, it's been a little crazy trying to pack everything. And this is the garage, and I've got a little less than, really almost, I'd say a little bit over a week. I've got a little bit over a week before I have to have all of this packed up. And yeah, it's been a little crazy trying to do this in the midst of having a brain condition. But sometimes you just got to find the strength and to dig deep within. So here we are, getting ready to go on an adventure. And I kind of talk about it in some other videos that I've done. I've done a couple shorts on here where I talk about that, how I was in the midst of, relocating to an entire different state. And it's due to that transition that's taken place that initially started during my year 7. But again, since we are still collectively in a year 7, I am going through the second phase of that transition. So as I go through this process, it's going to be really hard for me to really sit down and edit content. To record content and edit and still be in the midst of packing and moving. But my goal is that I'm able to try to gather as much footage as possible to put out so that I can be able to document this process, because I just feel like it's going to be something that's going to be beneficial later on down the line. I just wanted to come on here and do a quick video. Subscribe, definitely, if you are interested in seeing how the personal year 7 can continue to carry on over into the next year when you're in your personal year 8, especially if the collective as an entire year, according to the man-made calendar, is in a year 7. I mean, there was no way that I was going to get away from it. I'm still being tested, and my faith is being tested right now, just like I spoke about in my other videos that I've already done from my personal year 7 series. So go back and look at that if you haven't already. Definitely take a peek at how my, some of the experiences I actually had during my actual personal year 7. And it looks like I'm gonna have to continue to document, because I am still feeling the effects of the year 7, even while I'm in my personal year 8.
So really quickly, while we are doing a video on me relocating and going through this major transformation in my life, I wanted to film and document this space before I took it down. This is my meditation room. I call it the Zen Den, and I wanted to show this for those of you who may be thinking about creating something like this for yourself. And so this is the equivalent of like a prayer closet for those of you in the Christian world. And so here, I had my ancestor altar. I had my space for doing my meditation, spiritual practices, different things of that nature. And so I just kind of wanted to show this for those of you who may be also interested in creating a meditation space. This is also a good area that my children love to come in. It's kind of like having a quiet area in the home, but for the entire family. And so I really love this space. I'm going to miss it a lot. Hopefully I can recreate, and excuse that picture, y'all. It was a little crooked. I was pointing it out, but don't judge me. But nevertheless, I'm hoping that I can recreate the same space in my new location. But, this was a great area for the entire family. We would come in here and have, family meditations in here. And sometimes my kids would just come in here and chill out when they needed to have a quiet place. So, those of you in the educational world, you probably understand that, because you probably have something like that in your classrooms. So this was our quiet space in our home. Hope you enjoy.
I love you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe and follow me on my journey. And let's see where this goes, because it's a little crazy. My life is in complete chaos right now, but I have the faith of a mustard seed, like they used to say in my church growing up.
Have faith of a mustard seed.
So, and I am not worried at all. I have no fear, because I know that my God, that almighty consciousness, has my best interest at heart. And that's all that matters. So, I'll catch you guys later. I'm going to try to edit this video. And, y'all, just keep me in your thoughts.